Hey guys, give me 1 second here. All right, get out of here, Stacey Abrams. All right, guys, give me 1 second here. Oh boy, Buckeye Alex is here. I got something for you. I found a nice article on our Will Johnson, our Michigan defensive corner, who you were insisting is going to transfer. I got an article on him. I'm going to read tomorrow, probably. Oh boy, Mr. Laker, Dr. Bus is here too. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to, since I have a community tab over on my main channel now, I'm going to send an announcement over there in case anyone wants to check out what we're doing over here. Then I'll start this. This is going to be a short one. It's a lunchtime stream. I meant to do this last night, but man, got tired, came in, got tired, had to have dinner. And so I just binge watched an episode of Snowfall. So give me 1 second here. Oh boy, so many windows open, so many windows. Let me go here. Okay, home. I actually took a little break from the Roger Report. The Roger Report is actually on right now. Let me give this a like. And let's see. Discussing yesterday's Clippers versus Mavericks game over on Sports. I always wondered when Tommy Sotomayor, I'm sorry, let me say that correctly. Whenever Tommy Sotomayor, let me slow down here. Whenever Tommy Sotomayor would start his streams, I always wondered what he was doing there on his computer. And he was usually sharing his content over to one of his other platforms. So, okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar. Well, actually, today, I'm Kawhi Leonard. I'm Abdul Gaines' favorite LA superstar. I'm Kawhi Leonard. Welcome back to Big Discussions 76. Where's my sports logo? Did I delete my sports logo? After all the lessons I've learned about branding. Oh, there it is. Welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. I don't expect a large crowd for this one. The Michigan football is obviously the main course over here, but more basketball fans come over, especially from the Black Manosphere. I can grow that menu item here, but if you're watching live, please like this stream. If you're watching on the playback, please like this stream as well. This is going to be a short one. I just wanted to come on and just do a quick recap of yesterday's Clipper victory over the Mavericks, and then just talk about the semifinal round since those are set right now. And I think I just had the idea, maybe I'll invite BGS or some of the other guys over from the Black Manosphere side, and we'll do another basketball hangout, maybe when the conference final rounds and matchups are set. I'm going to read some of the comments here. I see 2 Ohio State people. Buckeye Alex says, let's do it. Let the gloating begin. No gloating. Get that screen, Mad. Get that screen name off the screen now. So he doesn't like the Kawhi Leonard. Hey, I could change it to Paul George, or I could change it to Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson had an excellent game yesterday. Nobody cares about the clown clips. Yes, you do. That's why you're here. You haven't won nothing. Nothing about the clown clips displays heritage and legacy. Abdul Gaines must be on his lunch break. Let me slow down. It's all the coffee. Abdul Gaines must be on his lunch break as well. Okay, our former president used to do this. Used to talk with his hands. Um, Buckeye Alex says they didn't get lucky. Two guys beat one guy. Whoop-de-doo. Hey, that one guy is a beast. Banner 18 will be in the rafters sooner than later. Why the Mavs continue to employ Carlisle as a head coach baffles me. Hey, Carlisle's a good coach. The Lakers are greater than the rest of the NBA. They were supposed to win. Buckeye Alex says at least they ought to they out of the first round. Okay, so yesterday's game. Let me enable my screen share here. I'm just going to do a quick analysis and give my thoughts on what happened. You know, Abdul, I thought I was going to use for my background wallpaper for this. I thought I was going to use the Staples Center, but I'm just going to use the playoff bracket. I'm going to be gracious and just use the playoff bracket. Let's see. So this is yesterday's game. This was game 7 of the Mavericks versus the Clippers. It was a 4-5 matchup, and that's pretty much what you would expect with the Kareem Austin. Hey, what's going on, Kareem? Thank you for stopping through. With the he's got the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as his avatar. Nice. If you're new coming in, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Also, please hit the like for this stream. It was the 4-5 matchup, and based upon that, this is what you would have expected. The 4-5 matchup of all the matchups is usually the most even because the teams are like right next to each other in terms of record. So it was that, you know, it went 7 games. This was an unusual series in that, with the exception of yesterday's game, the road team won every game, which you almost never see that. And so I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say that after those first 2 games, I thought the Clippers were done. I mean, I was ready for I was ready for the sweep. I was ready for Abdul Gaines to get to gloat and talk about how bad the Clippers are and how the Clippers are a joke and how the Clippers always underperform. Now, mind you, the Clippers, they won that opening round series. If they still have to win the semifinal round, they still have to win the conference final to get to the NBA finals. So I'm saying that to say that getting out of the first round, a lot of teams get out of the first round. So big deal. But it's just the way that they did it. They lost those first 2 games at home, and then they beat Dallas. I was surprised they were able to beat Dallas in games 3 and 4. And then Dallas came back and won game 5. And then I said, okay, well, yeah, Dallas is going to knock the Clippers off in game 6. The Clippers won game 6. And then they held down the Staples Center in game 7. So just it was completely insane. And I don't think it's anyone would have predicted yesterday's outcome. So based upon Dallas winning those first 2 games, though the 2 people commentating the game, I think it was Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, they did say that the Clippers have a lot of firepower and the Clippers can make a deep run if they get their act together and if they continue to play like they did yesterday, and particularly if Kawhi plays the way that he played yesterday. I thought Kawhi was very, very dialed into yesterday's game. Let me pull up a picture of Abdul Gaines, his other favorite LA player. Okay. I don't have a picture of Kawhi himself handy here. I do have the picture of Kawhi and LeBron handy, so I'll just put that up. Kawhi, darn it, it's not the one that's fitted to the screen. Give me a second here. You know what? Give me a second here. I'm a stickler for details. Hope you guys are having a good Monday. I did 3 live streams over the weekend. So let's see. Let me go back to January 2020. So I was literally live streamed out yesterday. Go to February. I like to have visuals when I do these things. Okay. Yeah. Boom. And it's fitted to the screen. So Kawhi, yeah, he played yesterday like the finals MVP from a few years ago. He was aggressive offensively. And even in game 6, he hit some cold-blooded shots down in the South Fork. South Fork is how Abdul Gaines refers to Dallas. And I think that's a tribute to the old TV show with J.R. Ewing and Bobby and Sue Ellen and those kinds of things. So Kawhi put up, but I think also what they were able to do and what Tyronn Lue did is he put Kawhi on Luka Doncic. And I think that putting Kawhi on Luka Doncic, and I think there were instances where they shifted Paul George onto Luka Doncic. I think that made a difference in the game as well. As a matter of fact, Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, they were talking about how Luka seemed to really explode in the first half of games, and then in the second half, he seemed to slow down. So I think somehow they were able to slow him down in the second halves of those games. But Luka is scary good, man. I mean, and I think one of my buddies texted me that Luka is only 22 years old. So as LeBron transitions out, Kawhi is kind of in the middle of his career. But as LeBron transitions out, the new face of the Western Conference could very easily be Luka Doncic. I mean, that kid is crazy good. He hits those janky Dirk Nowitzki, Nikola Jokic, one foot falling away jump shots, and if he gets a good look at the rim, he's a threat from long range. Though on some instances, I don't know if he got tired. There were a few air balls that Luka Doncic threw up. So I'm just saying that to say that the kid is scary good. And I just thought that I didn't think the Clippers would pull this out. So I'm going to take a quick look at the stats of the game. Let me look at the comment section here. Let's see. Kareem says, I thought that too. I think he's saying that he thought that Dallas would pull the series out. Abdul Gaines says, go Jazz, go Nuggets. AD Buckeye Alex says, so he scored 60 instead of 42, LOL. Luka has been playing pro ball since 16. Speaking of which, I think, in the first half, the Clippers put up 70 points. And let's take a look at the statistics here. So the final score was 126, 111 Clippers. Let's see. In the first quarter, Dallas won the first quarter 38-35. And then the Clippers won the second quarter 35-24. So the Clippers put up 70 points in the first half. And I was looking at that game yesterday and I was thinking, where's the defense? But I think that is the evolution of the game. And I think that, again, they've legislated out the contact. I mean, a lot of us really, really missed the 1980s and the 1990s basketball where there was contact in bodies were flying and you can knock guys down without getting flagrant fouls called. But I think that they've legislated in offense much the same way the NFL has. So, I guess it's nothing to see a 70-point first half for one team. And that means Dallas, that means Dallas scored 62 in the first half. I guess, yeah, this is the new NBA. And this is just how it goes. Buckeye Alex says, Luka has been playing pro ball since 16. And he says he was the Euro League MVP. So there you go. So looking at the statistics, yeah, Kawhi, for the Clippers, Kawhi scored 28. Marcus Morris scored 23. Nicholas Batum scored 11. PG-13, Paul George scored 22. Reggie Jackson hit some big shots, especially at the end, and scored 15. Terrence Mann had a good game. He scored 13. And Luke Kennard hit some big shots and scored 11. Rondo hit a big three. He only scored 3 points. Of course, we know that Rondo's contributions are usually all around. And then, but the other thing I noticed yesterday, the Clippers were really, while they were hitting from long range, the Clippers were also attacking the rim. So I thought that was a real key to them pulling out their victory. NC Worker says, good afternoon, NC Worker. Thank you for stopping through. I have a small crowd here. I'm not expecting a big one, but if you're watching live and you're coming in, please hit that like. If you're watching on the playback, please hit the like as well. So let's take a look at the Mavericks stats and see what happened over there. I said Luka is crazy good. Tim Hardaway Jr., who went to Michigan, go blue, he's crazy good as well. So early on in that series, one of the reasons why I thought the Clippers were going to get swept out of there was Tim Hardaway Jr. was reining them in from long range, just like Luka. And Kristaps Porzingis, he was showing his range. So there were a lot of points flying in this series. So for the Mavericks, Kristaps Porzingis, he scored 16. Dorian Finney-Smith, he scored 18. He was asserting himself on the offensive glass quite a bit, 10 rebounds. Marjanovic scored 14 points. Luka Doncic scored 46. And Tim Hardaway Jr. only scored 11. Now, I'm not sneezing at his 11 points, but, there were games in this series where Tim Hardaway Jr. was just going off. So I think the Clippers had a few more players score in double digits, and that probably accounts for why they won that game. Let's see. I'm going to read some comments here. Buckeye Alex says, at 18, he was the best player in the Euro League. Okay. So let's see. Abdul Gain says Dallas needs to get a second star and soon. So, is that second star not already on the roster? Is it Tim Hardaway Jr.? Is it Kristaps Porzingis? All those guys, they can shoot it. They're versatile. I would say the second star is probably already there, but we also know that some teams have to grow into the team they're going to be. And sometimes that involves losing 1 or 2 times in the first round. If you go back 20, 30 years before the Utah Jazz ascended, Abdul Gain says that Michael Jordan beat a bunch of tomato cans en route to his 6 chips. So arguably, I think under that logic, the Karl Malone, John Stockton, Utah Jazz teams were tomato cans. But there was a point at which those tomato can Utah Jazz teams were getting beaten consistently in the first round before they eventually started making those deep runs in the playoffs. Okay, so that's what happened with the Clippers. The Clippers, they pulled that out somehow. Honestly, I didn't think they would. I was ready to kind of kick my feet up and make a live stream about both LA teams losing. But the Clippers, they showed some heart and they had other plans. Let me go back to the statistics for the Clippers before I move on to talk about the semifinal round matchups, and then talk about the other LA team. I was impressed. Let's see. Hartsfield Jackson. Why do I think this person is in Atlanta, also known as Wakanda? Can Kristaps or Tim Hardaway Jr. get you 30 on call? I don't see it. Okay, well, maybe they're not the number 2 that Luka Doncic needs. Abdul Gaines says Hardaway Jr. ain't it. AD says Kristaps Porzingis was terrible. You know what? He's kind of thin. He's tall. He's the stereotypical European player that Colin Cowherd clowned in one of his classic rants. I would play it, but I don't want a copyright claim against this. But Colin Cowherd made a really nice rant about the European players one time. Let's see. Buckeye Alex says Hardaway is a solid third option at best. The Clippers bench was the reason why they won. Let me go back. Throughout this series, throughout this Clipper comeback, I was impressed with Paul George's play. Abdul Gaines was one of the folks who circulated that meme where the heads of Kawhi and Paul George were put on top of Craig and Smokey from Friday, especially after games 1 and 2. But once Paul George is a dangerous player. I mean, he can hit from long range. He can hit from mid range. He was going aggressively to the basket. He sits there putting the ball through his legs. I love Paul George's offensive game once it gets going. And the ball just sails through the net for him. So I think he deserves a lot of credit, despite his meltdown in the bubble last 7 to 8 months ago. I thought that he played he gave the Clippers some strong play, and I like Paul George's game, despite the criticisms that he gets. And Paul yesterday, he had 22. So the guys commentating that game, Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, they Kareem says pandemic P. Yeah, I guess. And I think he was dating Doc Rivers' daughter, and that whole thing got a little messy. So someone from CBS Sports picked the Clippers to go to the conference finals. I thought that was very generous, but if they play like they did yesterday, who knows? But I certainly did not pick them to get past the Mavericks, especially after games 1 and 2. Okay, let's take a quick look at the rest of the bracket. I'm going to stop this. I had it pulled up, and oftentimes happen, you lose a connection with one website. Let me see if I can go back and get it. So I'm going to go to 2021 playoffs bracket home. So let's see if this comes up for me. Again, guys, this is a short lunchtime stream. I appreciate you guys being here. I meant to do this last night, but I got in late, and at that point, I just wanted to eat dinner. Let's see. Share screen. Some Laker fans don't want to watch the rest of the playoffs because their team washed out early. And I'm going to talk about that before I finish this up. Abdul Gaines says, Paul George has some George Paul and pandemic P moments coming. Let's go, Jazz. So he's rooting for the Jazz to beat the Clippers. So this is the rest of the field. So the Clippers, let's see, game 1 is tomorrow night in Utah. In the other bracket, game 1 is tonight. Phoenix is hosting Denver. That's going to be interesting to see how Denver does, because I believe Jamal Murray was done for the season. So now the Joker, Nikola Jokic, I think he's going to be the number one option. And Nikola Jokic, yeah, if he gets going, he can be scary good as well. But how is Nikola Jokic going to do against top competition without Jamal Murray being there? The two of them in the bubble, as you know, they torched the Clippers. So, but how are they going to do without? I got my Bluetooth speaker hooked up to my phone, and these unknown numbers like to call me all day long. But how will Nikola Jokic do without Jamal Murray? That'll be interesting to see, and especially with Phoenix playing the way they played against Abdul Gaines's team, the Lakers. Yeah, the Nuggets might be overmatched in this one. If you're new coming in, please like the stream. Again, the main course over here is Michigan football and Ohio State football and Big Ten football. So if you're new coming in, please like the stream. Please get it into help get it into double-digit likes. Over in the Eastern Conference, surprisingly, I was looking at this game before the Clipper game yesterday. Atlanta stole game 1 from Philadelphia, and game 2 is tomorrow night. And in the other series, which I know Abdul Gaines is looking at because he's a KD fan and a Kyrie Irving fan, and maybe he'll be a Blake Griffin fan and a James Harden fan now as well. The Nets are leading that series 1-0, and game 2 is tonight. So I was watching that at one of my favorite restaurants here in Alexandria, Blackwall Hitch. Hey guys, have you ever gone to a restaurant and management makes a decision on your favorite meal? Uh-oh. Okay. My screen froze momentarily, and I thought StreamYard might have taken the stream down for some reason, but I'm back. Let me take a look at the YouTube side to make sure everything's fine. Can you guys still hear me out there? Say yes, say no, say maybe. Because I have I'm seeing circles here. Let me know if you guys are still out there and you guys can still see me and hear me. All right. Over on my science channel, I was talking about something about 2 months ago that YouTube didn't want me talking about, and they took down the stream as I was talking, and they took my science channel down. And I appealed it and they brought it back up. So I'm always on the lookout for what they're doing. But anyway, I was in one of my favorite eateries on Saturday night, watching the Brooklyn game. And I was just saying that sometimes at your favorite eateries, management makes decisions just like NBA teams do. They change the name on your favorite meal and they give you a smaller portion size. So as I was watching the Brooklyn game, I was eating my meal, but they gave me a much smaller portion size. So Brooklyn looks really good. I know that Abdul is rooting for Brooklyn and Kyrie and KD and James Harden and Blake Griffin, but I can see Brooklyn making it to the NBA final regardless of who is over on the Western side. So, yeah, things froze over here. Okay, let me skip this ad. It could have been my internet service as well. It's kind of hot here, and electronics and fiber optics, that's all chemistry. Everything's temperature sensitive. Okay, my screen share stopped. Let me go back to my screen share. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up shortly because this is just a lunch break stream. Okay. Okay, well, that website is not working with me anymore. Okay, so let's end with a tale of two LA teams. Some people are salty that their team didn't make it to the semifinal round. And I just want to say to Laker fan, don't fret. I think Laker fan is also salty that with the fact that people are putting an asterisk next to their bubble title. But how could you not? They had to stop the season last year. They had to restart the season. Players weren't in their right mind in some instances. Lou Williams went to the strip club. I think some other player might have gone to the strip club with him. Some players, I feel a sneeze coming on. Some players like Avery Bradley wanted to stay with their families. Some players just did it for the money. And some players like Paul George just weren't in their right mind. So, yes, Laker fan, you're gonna have a historic asterisk next to that Larry O'Brien trophy. It just is what it is. How can you not have an asterisk? But some of the Laker fans are salty because they're not getting respect for that title. Some Laker fans were salty because they feel like the season got restarted too early, and the Lakers did not have a chance to rest up. I think that's legitimate. In an NBA season, winning a title, that takes a large toll. And I think you want the maximum amount of time necessary to heal up those joints, to heal up those muscles and ligaments. And what happened with LeBron and AD may be indicative of the fact that they didn't have a lot of rest. Now, on the other hand, Rob Pelinka made roster moves, and there was, I feel another sneeze coming on. Bless me. Rob Pelinka made roster moves. Players signed on other teams. Some players went out east. Rajon Rondo signed with the Clippers. Who would have thought that would happen? And so there were other things that were done that changed up that Laker bubble championship roster that I think arguably led to what happened. But you need this much we know for sure. You need a healthy AD alongside LeBron to make a deep run in the playoffs. And if AD is not at least 90%, that team doesn't have a chance of making it out of the second round. Now, here's the other thing. Hartfield, Abdul, well, let me read some of your comments. Buckeye Alex says, wait, Porter. Oh, hell yes. I think he's talking about who can step up in the absence of Jamal Murray for the Nuggets. Abdul Gaines says, I don't root for players who don't brush their hair. I'm talking about you, KD. I don't root for players who race bait. I'm looking at you, Kyrie. Yeah, there's some sore feelings over what happened with Kyrie and LeBron back in Cleveland. And KD, of course, has his detractors for signing with the Warriors to create that super team to gang tackle LeBron. He said, I hear you. That's when my internet did its little thing. Let's see. Abdul says, I can't root for a player whose jersey is retired at a strip club. I'm looking at you, James Harden. Okay, I haven't heard that story. Kareem says, I'm a Laker fan, and I knew they were going to lose. Hey, BGS called it too. Salt. Let's see. Hartsfield Jackson says, asterisk is unfair. People don't put an asterisk next to Duncan's first title. That's true. That was the lockout year. Kareem Austin says, LeBron, king of the Ooh, LeBron smack. LeBron, king of the asterisk titles. We have another Buckeye here. Wolf58 says, by that rationale, every champion from last year should have an asterisk like Alabama. Well, some people might look back at that and say Alabama played their entire season. Buckeye Alex said that. Alabama played their entire season. Ohio State started playing late, and they played only a limited number of opponents. I think my team and my school were partly responsible for that. So I guess that's a part of sports. But, and I think there's something going on with Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson. I think Magic Johnson might have said that. Has Magic Johnson voiced displeasure with Rob Pelinka or certain players on the Lakers roster? You guys can let me know. I haven't had a chance to read it. I have so many balls up in the air. I can't keep up with everything. But my main point was, Laker fan, don't feel bad. As a Clipper fan, rooting for the Clippers and in part to spite Laker fan. The master teacher is here. The master teacher did call it. I think the master teacher did call in our hangout that the Lakers might not go far in the playoffs. By the way, master teacher, I don't have time today because I'm on my lunch break. I was just listening to you guys over on Roger's stream, and I'm going to go back and listen when I get done with this. Maybe once the conference finals are set, maybe we'll do another basketball hangout over here. But my point was, Laker fan, don't feel bad. Without a healthy AD, that team had no chance of going far. You need at least 2 healthy stars, in my opinion, to make a deep run. And it helps if you have 3. Back in the 80s, you had 3. As the league expanded and you had the free agency, you started getting 2 superstars and maybe 2.5. And then it became really, really rare to have more than 3 superstars on one team. But you need at least 2. And your roster was banged up. And of course, Schroeder you guys shredded Schroeder. Hey, master teacher, since you stopped through, I'll go for another 20 minutes. I'll throw the link in just for you. If you want to come up and say some words, since you're there in LA and you know what they're talking about, and you know what Magic Johnson just said, master teacher, this is just for you. If you want to come in and say a few words, please come on up. There's the chat. There's the link in the chat. Keeping my fingers crossed that the master teacher comes up. 20 more minutes. Waiting. There he is.
Yeah. The Lakers are a very, very odd corporate team. Remember when Magic Johnson retired? I mean, he left. Okay, he had accused Rob Pelinka of stabbing him in the back, which Rob Pelinka actually really did stab him in the back, but that's that's like old news because actually Rob Pelinka used to do most of the work once the Bus brothers the Bus brothers got demoted and Magic and Rob Pelinka actually took over. Magic's got a whole bunch of other businesses and stuff like that. So Magic wasn't always in the office or didn't put in the hours that Rob Pelinka did, like you normally would do for a general manager.
Yep.
And Rob Pelinka used to call Jeannie Buss or text Jeannie Buss or email Jeannie Buss that, well, I'm here by myself and Magic's not here.
Oh.
So yeah, there is a wee bit of animus between Magic and Rob Pelinka.
Okay.
And Rob Pelinka is probably not his favorite person.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Another Michigan alum right there, Rob Pelinka.
I'm not saying that Rob Pelinka didn't earn his spot. I think he did.
Yeah.
But Rob Pelinka is not above
reproach
and backdoor politics. Let's put it that way. Neither is Jeannie. So I think they see eye to eye.
Okay. Okay. So there's some front office issues there. What do you make of what happened? It was the injuries? I mean, you can't win without a healthy AD, right?
Well, yeah, but it's they gambled on a 2-man team.
Okay.
They basically they mortgaged 5 years of draft picks to get a 2-man team. So once LeBron James decided to come in because he has, he wants to do other businesses because, he's a media mogul now in Los Angeles. Once he signed on, they decided they were going to make a two-man team. So they worked on getting Anthony Davis, and they basically sold like more four of their sold more four of their draft picks basically to get AD. So you basically have a two-man team. Uh, and I knew it once AD went down with a groin, I said, okay, that's it. I said they're not going to risk injuring him to actually win a championship when they've already won one. I knew once they won that first one, I said, okay, they're playing with house money. They're not going to really take a big gamble on injuring him because in the scheme of things, AD is actually more valuable than LeBron. LeBron maybe has another year or so, but AD is supposed to be here for another 10. And they need at least, according to the contract with I think it's Spectrum now. They need at least one marketable star, and AD is it. So um, they're willing to give up. Well, they already have a championship, so basically, it's just nothing for them. So unless LeBron and AD were perfectly healthy, they're not going to risk them. So once AD went down with a groin, I said, okay, that's it. They're not going to really do anything. I think the whole team kind of knew it. They kind of like packed it up and said, okay, this is it. So we might as well find other places to go because they're gonna reshuffle this team depending on what the money says and what they need and work of getting AD back healthy.
Okay. So are they going to make AD the centerpiece of the team going forward?
Yeah, he already is. LeBron is the marquee right now, but LeBron is what 36 is he now?
Okay.
LeBron maybe has another year. LeBron's looking to um, parlay his NBA wealth into doing business with China and with media and stuff like that. So that's what he's here for. LeBron is not really here to play basketball, and he was accused of that when he first got here because he was doing everything else except playing basketball. And but the thing is they had to give the Lakers at least one or two championships. That was the guarantee. And on the flip end, they were actually going to get him into media, making movies, stuff like that. Because you've seen his name on as executive producer on a whole bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really why he's here. He's here to do what Kobe did with Kobe Inc. So, but the thing is, okay, we need you to do this for us, so we'll do this for you on the other end. So,
Okay.
I think LeBron maybe has another year, but AD is actually the centerpiece of the team that they want to keep going forward,
Okay.
in my opinion.
That's interesting. Well, the key for him is going to be staying healthy if he's
Key
going to
for
be the
him
number one
staying
guy.
healthy, and then I think if LeBron leaves, they'll probably look to get
Another
another
star.
star to go along with him.
Okay.
So you see, they keep swapping out pieces in and out, like a point guard, the centers. The one piece they haven't really looked to trade. I think Kyle Kuzma may look to move, but the Jeannie Buss favors him, so I don't see him moving. Um, but you're gonna see pieces swapped in and out
Right.
around these two guys. I think LeBron and AD will have one more run. I think they're gonna wait till have a regular season, get healthy over the summertime, and try to get that second title. They get that 18th title. It's a wrap. LeBron's gone after that, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see, go for about 15 more minutes. Yeah. Schroeder's taking a beating, so he'll probably, well, more than likely be gone, right?
Shoot, they uh they need a point guard,
Yep.
and they need a young point guard. So if Schroeder's not there, I don't. Who else do they really get that's available? That's a decent point guard. That's available. Most of the decent point guards are pretty much taken.
But you don't need a traditional point guard with LeBron, right? You need shooters and defenders, right? Because he
You need
because he likes to,
he likes to handle the ball, but you do need a point guard. You do need a point guard,
okay.
and that they found that out with what's his name last year. You do need one. There's something that LeBron will set the table, but when LeBron takes his play off, you do need a point guard to actually run a team.
Hmm.
LeBron
Okay.
LeBron gets into his sets a certain way, but the thing is that you do need a point. They found out they need a point guard. They probably need a I would say they probably need a more of a defensive point guard than probably Shooter is. Shooter's okay, but they may look to get a better defending point guard.
Hmm.
But if Shooter and shoot, you know, the problem with Shooter's attitude, man. I don't know if Shooter really wants to be here. That's the
Wasn't he
problem I see with
jockeying
Shooter.
for? Wasn't he jockeying for a new contract?
I think he is, but I have a feeling Shooter doesn't really jive with the Laker organization because he's had an attitude ever since he's been here.
Okay. If you're new coming in, I see some more folks came in. Please hit the like. That would really help a lot. Hey, Master
So
Teacher, what? Go ahead.
so do you think the Clippers gonna clip this year? Or do you think they're gonna actually make it to the
Well,
finals?
well, hold on. I have one more Laker question. One more.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed, and maybe it's just not, he doesn't want to do it, it's not his game. Has it ever surprised you that LeBron doesn't go to the low block and exploit his height advantage and size advantage more?
The thing is okay. The thing is when you put somebody on a low block,
Yeah.
um, it you can he can. The thing is that since he's LeBron, it's not going to be him going to be one on one. It's going to be other guys. And the thing is that in the low block, um, people are going to be swiping down. The thing is, you're going to have a hand problem eventually if you do that on a
Well,
continuous basis because
oh,
they're not going to let you. You can do it. You can do it every once in a while, and he does
yeah.
do it every once in a while. But the thing is, if you do it on a continuous basis, they're going to swarm you, and basically they're going to take their shots at you. That's the problem with Shaq. You know.
But but didn't okay, this is what I'm thinking about. Okay, I'm not thinking about it from the Shaq Patrick Ewing contest. I'm thinking Michael's game became a post-up game, Kobe's
Hmm.
game became a post-up game, Magic worked in his hook shot. That's what I was thinking
Uh-huh.
about. How
Uh,
can he yeah, anyway, go ahead.
in other words, you talk about
Back to the basket, draw
free
double
throw.
team. Yeah.
A free throw basically within like 12 feet or so. That's
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
talk about,
yeah,
right? You're
yeah.
not talking about low block. You're
Yeah,
talking
all
about
those guys, yeah, made that transition.
he, he can. Um, I don't think that's his game. Part of that I think is where he releases his jump shot.
Okay.
Okay, if you're gonna, Mike had a fadeaway, and if you're gonna be in the low block, you need a fadeaway. If you're gonna play that, or you need a bank shot or a hook shot, unless you're tall. And I don't think that's LeBron's game. LeBron is more of a power game. So you got to play to your abilities. I don't think LeBron doesn't. LeBron like doesn't mind contact, but if you're gonna play in a low block, you got to accept contact. Even Mike would pick his spots, but Mike is not going to go down on the block and actually do it on a continuous basis. He's gonna if you're gonna do that, even Mike, you pick your spots, or basically you have spots. Um, in near the key. So it's a different game. Because Mike went to the fadeaway.
Yes.
He went to the fadeaway. So basically, if you have a good fadeaway, you can do it. LeBron really doesn't have a good fadeaway. He's never developed one. So that's not his game.
Okay.
That's not his game. LeBron is a scorer. LeBron's really not a shooter. If that makes sense.
Hmm. Okay. Now, to your question about how far the Clippers can go, well, if they play like they did yesterday, they can go to the conference final. Um, someone on CBS Sportsline picked them to go to the NBA Finals. I don't,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't have my heart set on them.
Best not to.
Yeah,
if,
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah,
it happens, if it happens, it's a gift.
yeah,
You accept it and move on. Just like say if the Cubs win a World Series, okay, you accept it as a one-off and you treasure it.
yeah. So I thought they were going to get swept out after they lost those first two games at Staples.
The thing is the Clippers is with the Clippers is it's more of a I don't know if can they break their culture of losing because it's a culture at this point because even last year they shouldn't have lost. They with that particular team they just they were up and they just fell flat. It just stopped trying. So I don't know if it's a hopefully they can break their curse
Hmm.
because I'm not a Clipper fan, but they're LA. I'm getting tired of hearing it. I said Clippers at least do something, at least make the championship if nothing else, so we can get tired of hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well the Clippers gonna clip. Yep,
Yep.
that's what they say. They haven't disappointed us yet. But they with those two guys, Kawhi and what's his name, they
Paul
should at
George.
least make the conference finals. They should at least in the West at the very
Mm-hmm.
least. The West is not what it used to be, so they should
Mm-hmm.
at least make the conference finals in the West.
Okay. And when you say what it used to be, you're referring to recently with the Warriors,
With the
right?
Warriors going down, most of the West is kind of flat. Houston is not what Houston's is gone pretty much. Most of the West is pretty leveled out. So most of the talent's kind of moved around or retired. So if the Lakers, if the Lakers aren't healthy, then Clippers should be second up. They should be the West second team.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, one of these days we have to get into in-house politics with the Lakers, man. There's a lot of moving parts with the Lakers. About
Okay.
even with AD and how they got him, it was not quite kosher. So, which is why Rob Pelinka will never win executive of the year. So
Yeah.
he was upset about that. But hey, Rob, you know what you did, man. Stop.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Once the conference finals get set, maybe we'll do another basketball hangout.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, and Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka are not Jerry West's favorite anyway, so he had a few words.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'd love to
there's some
hear some
angst.
more about that.
Yeah, there's some
Um,
angst.
sounds very, very complicated.
Yeah. Well, it was family dynamics. So,
Yeah.
family dynamics and corporate speak don't always mix. And there's a lot of stuff that went into what's going on behind the scenes. In fact, yeah, and I'm gonna start calling Jeannie Buss Cersei
Oh,
Lannister.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yes, yes, she is. If I had to pick a person for Jeannie Buss to be and say in popular media, she would be Game of Thrones and Cersei Lannister.
Cersei Lannister. Wow, that says a
Mm.
lot. That says a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Master Teacher, as always, I appreciate you passing through. I'm gonna shut
Hmm.
this down so I can get back to work.
I'll get back to the
5.
basically get back to being an egghead, huh?
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I'm gonna turn Roger back on.
All right. What you and Nicole are going to have to do something about something on the Pfizer thing in the what is it the spike protein, because they're saying there's issues with spike protein and the particles breaking off and traveling places that it shouldn't and causing issues. Uh,
All right.
you
Well,
guys
I'll
have
tell
got to
you
have to do
what.
something on that. And
All right. When she's well enough to do it,
when
we'll,
did she
we'll,
do?
we'll
When did she do? Do you have
uh
the baby, or did
well
she
we texted on Saturday. She said any day now.
any day? Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, Master Teacher, they're policing stuff, and I'm afraid to even
Okay.
mention it.
Oh,
So
okay. That's
we'll
right.
have to
Okay.
coordinate that somehow.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can always do it on my channel. I'll take the hit.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you again.
All right. All right,
I'm gonna
Doc.
read, all right. I'm gonna read these comments and then I'm gonna shut this down.
All right.
Let's see. What do we
And
have?
you guys support the channel while we're at it, because you're
Yeah.
not going.
Yeah.
I've gotten banned from Laker Talk, so uh, I was saying stuff like this.
Well, you're an immoral pragmatist, so
Oh yeah, I'm even more pragmatist. If
I guess they don't like
every
that.
time there's a new Laker podcast and I get on it, I text them, email them, after about a year or so, they start reading my text.
Yeah.
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 So,
Okay.
all right, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.
Talk to you later. Okay. So Abdul Gain says the NHL had a restart last year. Tampa Bay won the cup. The NHL media didn't put an asterisk on their cup. MLB had a 60-game season. Dodgers won the World Series. MLB media didn't use an asterisk. Looking at my clock here. Wolf 58 exactly. BJ Edmore said yes. Abdul Gain says Phil tried to use an asterisk. I can't say that thing. On Duncan's first title. I kind of see it that way as well. They did play a shortened season. Magic criticized Rob after Magic resigned. BGS says a two-man team. They are playing with house money. Abdul Gaines says Magic had some critiques of the Michael Blackson lookalike. Okay, Abdul's used that so much with Schroeder. I'm going to look up Michael Blackson right now because I don't have a nice image in my mind of who Michael Blackson is. Okay, so that is Michael Blackson. Let me see. I'll show it to you guys. Abdul Gaines has a nickname for almost everybody. Images. So this is who Abdul Gaines insists that Schroeder looks like. That's Michael Blackson. Okay. So now I know. Okay, it is 1 o'clock. Extended clip stopped through. Thank you, extended clips, for coming through. Michael Blackson needs to go. We don't need Blackson. We can find what's necessary. If you're new coming in, please hit the likes. Post up takes a toll on the body. Blackson was playing for the wrong reasons. Shannon Sharp said it. He wasn't focused on the title. He was too concerned about his context, his contract. Stop with the low block talk, Doc. Hey, Kobe went to the post up. MJ went to the post up. Magic posted up. That's where I was going with that. Even Karl Malone had to stop that post up later in his career. Too much wear and tear. But BGS said it. LeBron doesn't have a fall away or a fadeaway jump shot, so maybe that's not a good look for him. And then finally, Hartsfield Jackson says, of the 4 Western teams left, only the Clippers have a star player and a coach who have championships. Abdul Gaines says, LA doesn't need anyone but the Lakers in NBA basketball. Extended Clip says, thank you. Extended Clips, once again, I appreciate your support here on YouTube and over on the Facebook side as well. All right, everyone, I better wrap this up. I just want to do a quick stream on the Clippers advancing, the Lakers not advancing, and also the current teams remaining in the semifinal round. So thank you, everyone, for being here. If you're watching on the playback, please like, share, and subscribe. If anyone wants to throw anything in the tip jar, it's a little late for the super chats, but my Cash App and PayPal are below this video. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Stay cool. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. Bye-bye. You too, Laker fan.